From understanding your role in the group, optimizing your rotations, properly mitigating raid wides and tank busters, I will provide everything you need in this comprehensive tank guide. Hi, this is A. Levine, and this is how to be 99 Gunbreaker in P10 Savage. I'm recommending two different openers depending on which tower you take. If you take the second tower, use 1 No Mercy, but if you take the first tower, use 1, 2, 3 No Mercy. The reason for this is because the knockover happens during the 1 minute window, which will mess up your rotation, so you either want it delayed or as soon as possible. If your co-tank is not involving the first shared tank buster, I recommend you do, since it will be up for harrowing hell. But if you want to share, I recommend Camo, Rampart and Heart of Corundum, since it will be up again for the next shared tank buster. If you're using this strat where it cleaves up front, make sure you're slightly behind this diamond pattern on the floor to be safe and still maintain uptime. I'm actually not a big fan for this PFT fighting wing strat where the cleave is up front. I'd rather just cleave behind and stack up front since it's easier for the melees and it's just generally safer for the party. So here's the interesting part. The first thing is I'm using Nebula and Heart of Corundum to take this tower, and it will come back up for the next tower. The second thing is that if you take the second tower, you want to land Gnashing Fang and double down as soon as possible, so it doesn't drift apart from your No Mercy. Since the Gnashing Fang cooldown was based off Gnashing Fang and not the Savage Claw or Wicked Talon, so you can use those after the knockup. But if you take the first tower, you kinda want to delay it altogether with the No Mercy, since if you're using 1, 2, 3 No Mercy opener, it won't drift too much. Here's a pro tip, always move to the middle after taking these towers, as the safe spot might be opposite of where you are. I use Heart of Light here before we move out for spread, since the damage from the spread hurts quite a little bit. You can also pot here if you don't pot at the opener, which is actually the better option since you will have full cartridge. If you don't use Heart of Light for the spread, you can also use Heart of Light here, and you also need to assign one tank to mitigate that with Reprisal. Here you use Rampart, Camo and Heart of Corundum for the stack tank buster. Turrets is probably the first wall for many groups. I recommend you to mitigate the first or second turrets with Heart of Corundum as it hurts quite a little bit. Also, if you use Heart of Light on spreads, you will have it up here and you can mitigate like a good 2 to 3 blast. You can actually grid 1 GCD before the second turret, but remember to go back a bit as you might fall off the edge if you don't. The last turret is a bit too risky to grid since it might lock on your co-tank if you gap close. The condition where you can grid that is when both tank gap close at the same time after it is baited on both of you. And everyone else is up front and nowhere near the turret, which is impossible to do on an unorganized group. Since the turret killed my rotation, I chose to delay a bit here to fill my cartridges before going to No Mercy. You can actually go into No Mercy immediately if you have at least 2 cartridges with solid barrel ready, but here I choose to delay for better comfort. Here, as you can see, the Rampart and Camo is back up for the stack TB. If you often fail from taking these tower TBs, just move slightly over the hitbox line and move closer to the corner of the tower, as this will guarantee your safety. I think 161 is the best kind of spread here, because if you do 242 and the tank goes to the corner most of the side platform, sometimes the shields doesn't hit you, or mitigation like tactician or even expedient, you might miss those. So I think 161 and you stand around the middle is much better. If the cliff space is next to you, I recommend to always move across if it's spread later for bond free, as this frees up a lot of space for your party. I use Heart of Light here to mitigate the bleed from the cleave and the stack, as this hurts a lot, and usually it's hard for the healers to heal for the ones on the right platform. Here is the second pot window if you pot at the opener. Make sure you pot before you spam your cartridge like I did here on the burst strike. Here I made a mistake and used my rampart and camo, cause I forgot that the MT is involving this, but if I didn't, I should have it up for Harrowing Hell. Depending on what you get here, you might lose some of time. Just make sure to land your Gnashing Fang and Blasting Zone before the downtime happens, as the usage of both is the most important to the Gunbreaker's damage output. Harrowing Hell is probably the most annoying healer check here. Make sure to reprisal and have 2 mids up and Heart of Corundum, and even better if you have an invuln. I'll usually invuln after the 2nd or 3rd hit, as you can cover the whole duration of the Harrowing Hell. Heart of Light is kinda useless here, as Harrowing Hell is a physical damage, but it's still pretty useful for the stack and spread later. So remember to use it before you got knocked back. You can also cheese Harrowing Hell by using LB3 tank to make it easier on the healers. I recommend this during proc, as this can save you a lot of time. There's a lot of adjustments here because the healer died, as I throw the Heart of Corundum to keep the MT alive. I would recommend you invuln this TB if you didn't use it in Harrowing Hell, but if you did, use Camo plus Heart of Corundum. I use Rampart plus Camo since I don't have it up. Here's the second pot window if you pot at the 2nd minute, but it's during a tower TB, so you will lose a bit of usage here when you're knocked over. The adjustments caused me to only have Heart of Corundum here, but it's actually enough if you time it right, just before you are knocked over. This would be an optimal kill time for a full BIS optimized party, but since this video was recorded on an A2C party, it's kinda impossible. Even if you got Curse Pattern for Parted Plumes here, make sure to keep dodging upfront or melee range, as you will have time to adjust before the half arena cleave hits. Be careful here, as people tend to forget there's an in-out casting as the ball spawn, and it will execute immediately after it finishes. I use another Heart of Light for the spread. If you didn't use it on this spread, you can use it on the stack later on.
Woi, besar. Ngentot. Pengen suruh jalan.
This kill time is very bad since it's almost 1 minute window and I'm forced to spend my cartridges on burst strikes. That's it for this guide. Hopefully it can help you improve your play a little bit, and please leave a like and subscribe if you find this video helpful. And that's about it. See ya.